What if the reason your business isn't growing is because you haven't given your team a big enough vision? I have today with me Brady Sticker, whose company Church Candy has a vision to connect 1 million people to the local church. And they're already a quarter away there.
One of the things is you have to iron out your goals. Write down the vision so other people can follow it. I didn't really have clear vision at the time. At first, the first goal when we left that meeting, it was we want to partner with 1,000 churches. But it's still powerful.
Yeah,
it's still good.
amazing.
There's nothing wrong with that. But we made the goal about us. We say that we're on a mission to connect 1 million people to a local church. And so that's the goal. And we just looked, and as of April of 2025, we've connected over 256,000 people to a local church.
If your business has been stagnant in growth, you may have a vision problem. If that's the case, this episode is for you. Welcome to the Faithustle podcast. I am so excited for the conversation we're going to have today. My name is McQuinda. I'm your host. I've been entrepreneurial for almost 10 years. And on this show, I get the honor to have successful business owners, content creators that are believers who are building their business God's way to give us the blueprint of what it looks like to biblically build your business. And today is no exception. I have an incredible guest who is literally changing the landscape of how churches advertise and get the word out to people to come into church and to learn the gospel and to get saved and get discipled. He is making such an impact in the body of Christ for the Big C Church. I got my brother Brady Sticker.
McQuinda, bro. Thank you so much for taking the trip down here.
I'm about to say I'm not in the normal studio in Dallas. I am here in Houston, but thank you for opening your home, man.
Of course, man. Of course. Glad you were able to make it down here and we were able to make this happen.
Yeah, it's been in the works for a few months trying to get it all together, but I'm glad we were able to figure it out. But man, I just love, one, we have, like it happens often, I have tons of mutual friends with guests. And so we realized we knew a bunch of people because you went to CFNI, right?
Yep.
So a bunch of CFNI world. So Brandon Forbes and Hunter Swain, Jamal Miller, all of those guys kind of, we're realizing, man, we're in the same circles.
Cut from the same breed, man.
I know. I probably should have went to CFNI at this point.
It's not too late, bro.
It's not too late. Do they have an online program? I don't know. We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
But no, it's awesome to see how God just intertwines stuff. But bro, when I made my address, I'm serious. When I look at what you're doing, to me, you're a real hero in the church. And I know it's only just been a few years, but to think about all the people that are in the local church, have found community because of the advertising that your company does is phenomenal. And my background's advertising, loved it. There are some pros and cons with it. But ideally, really, you're just helping people make more money, which is, there's no problem with that at all. But you're doing advertising that literally is leading to people finding Jesus. How many people to date have come into church as first-time guests because of your guys' efforts? Yeah,
so this is actually something that we track very meticulously. And so much so that I pay real humans to go and look at the data rather than just using AI or relying on software to do that, because that's how important it is to us to track this. So we say that we're on a mission to connect 1 million people to a local church. And so that's the goal. And we just looked, and as of April of 2025, we've connected over 256,000 people to a local church. And so that blows me away.
That's
every single
You're a quarter away there. You should have made it 10 million, man. You were thinking too small.
That's the goal. Don't worry, man. I ain't retiring once we hit 1 million. Once we get to 1 mil, it'll be 5 and then 10 and then 1 billion. What's funny is we were having a leadership meeting about a year ago when we kind of came up with this goal, because we were already tracking this number, but not we would track every week how many people we connected to a church, but we weren't adding it up and saying man, this is how many. So we just never thought to do that.
Yeah.
And so we were having a leadership meeting. And it's man, we need to make this a big goal.
Yeah.
And we were okay, what do we want the number of people that we've connected to a local church? What do we want that goal to be? And I'm pretty sure I told my team, we should make it 1 billion. We want to connect 1 billion people to local church. And whenever, think in mind, there's 800 million people in America.
I don't even think that much. I think I don't even think it's that much.
Someone can fact check us. But I said $1 billion whenever, sure, in Jesus' name, like one day we'll get there.
Yeah.
But like there's not even that many people in America to make it happen. So like I definitely overshot in the first goal. I was like, okay, let's start at $1 million and then we'll work our way up to $1 billion.
Which is, I mean, you think 1 million people, that's potentially 1 million families. That's generations. Like I think of like, and some people know my family story. I am saved, or I mean, I'm not even saved. I'm alive because 2 missionaries from Dallas, Texas, decided that in the 80s during wartime in Uganda, where they were overrun by a dictator, they went and preached the gospel. And my dad hiked miles to find these missionaries. And they told him about Jesus for the first time. He's the first person to get saved. And then, he joined the ministry, went to a Bible school. He moved to America and then had me. I'm alive because of these 2 missionaries. Like salvation, like impacts generations of people who are still maintaining the faith. And so like that's 250,000 people. That is incredible of like, that's legacies, generations that are forever changed. So that's amazing, man. Yeah. So 1 million is a great number. That's like, that is, and honestly, I mean, and I hope I always try to help my audience kind of catch little nuggets. Cause like, if you just listen quick, you'll miss it. If you were listening, I'm address camera. If you were listening, he just gave a leadership like breakdown and I didn't catch it until you just said it. You set a goal for your company, for your team, not for a dollar amount.
Yeah.
But for souls of like, hey, here's how many people we want to have come into the church for the first time as first time guests.
Yeah.
That is leadership 101 because now you've just motivated a team with a much bigger vision of like, all right, this is the win. Here's what a win looks like. And we're going to go after this win together. And it actually has nothing about this is adding more, money to my bank account. This is, hey, we can help more people. Like that's just a brilliant leadership, like how to lead a team. I think like it's brilliant.
So there's actually more to that story. So our business had grown really, really quickly. And it wasn't that like we were losing clients. I started losing employees. That's when I was like, okay, something's got to change.
Interesting. Okay.
So we hired a consultant to help us implement what's called EOS. Have you heard of EOS?
Yep.
Entrepreneurs Operating System. And throughout the EOS process, one of the things is like you have to iron out your goals, right? You can look back at what is it in Habakkuk when it says
write the vision.
Write down the vision so other people can follow it. And so that is biblical, right? And I didn't really have clear vision at the time. At first, the first goal when we left that meeting, it was we want to partner with 1,000 churches. But it's still powerful. Yeah, it's still good. Amazing. There's nothing wrong with that. But we made the goal about us. It was about us partnering with 1,000 churches.
Yeah.
And we left that meeting and I was like, okay, this is what I felt like we should be doing. But I don't know, just the Lord didn't give me a peace about it. And it was actually my friend Brady Sticker, who's been on the pod before.
Love Brady.
I went up to Canada and interviewed him for my podcast, the Church Candy podcast. And afterwards, we go to lunch and I'm like, man, you're like, to me, he's been doing this longer than I have. We're in the same space. We do different things, but he's been a huge inspiration of mine. And so he kind of coached me over lunch and kind of helped me walk through that. And something that he said is, do you want 1,000 churches just to have 1,000 churches? Like what kind of impact do you want to make? What kind of business do you want to have? And it kind of made me think, okay, long-term, what do we want our business to look like?
Wow.
What kind of impact do we want to have? And then how can we work backwards to get there? And so rather than making our goals just growth for the sake of growth, I actually took that to the Lord. And it's like, all right, Lord, like, don't let me just choose the goals for our company. Like, give me wisdom, pour into me on how we can glorify you with what we do. Because it's not once we get to, this number for MRR, monthly recurring revenue, or this many clients, or it's how many people we've connected to a church.
That's beautiful.
And man, once we made that shift, we got way more team buy-in, right? Because imagine if it was just, hey, we want to partner with 1,000 churches. Well, my team hears that and they're just thinking, well, that's more work.
Yeah, that's true. That's 1,000 people that we have to manage, 1,000 accounts, Facebook ad accounts. Like, yeah, it's like, that's an overwhelming thought outside of like, no, like the win in this, like the deeper why is we're going to connect all these people into the local church. That's beautiful.
And sometimes I feel like whenever I'm working with my team, like I'm a pastor, like I need to set vision and like really just get them encouraged.
Do a growth track. No, I was kidding.
Right? Well, because I think about it, I work with so many church planters who are having to get a team to show up at 5 a.m. or 6 a.m. to set up in a school's auditorium for church on Sundays. They got to cast a lot of vision. People aren't doing that unless they cast vision. And so I kind of just took that model from church planters and pastors on casting vision and did that for our company. Now,
brilliant.
The difference is I'm paying my team members. They probably not paying the people that show up at 6 a.m. So it's a little bit easier for me to get people excited. But with that, I just love the team's buy-in. Yeah. And whenever I have like employees just talk about how much they love working, doing what they do. And like when they share it on their social media, the stuff that we're doing,
about it,
like that just gets me so excited. If they were working for a marketing agency that just worked with plumbers or HVAC companies, like, yeah, it's a job. It's just another job.
Yeah.
Right. And so being able to have the team buy-in has been huge. And that starts with me as the visionary setting that vision.
Yeah, that's brilliant. No, that was a masterclass. I didn't even know that wasn't even in my notes to go there, but I love we went there. Do you ever feel as a Christian entrepreneur that you're alone? That in a world full of people who are building their businesses off of greed and self-help, you're by yourself on an island trying to build your business God's way? Well, I'm here to tell you, you're not alone. When I started my podcast over a year ago, I started with a mission of, could I find like-minded people who were crushing it in business, but doing it God's way? And over 50 episodes later, I've interviewed dozens of millionaires and investors and serial entrepreneurs who have all built their business God's way. And it gave me hope that there is a community of like-minded people who want to build a different way. And I realized we need more than just a podcast that can give information. We need a community that can bring transformation to our lives, to our businesses, so that we can actually build our businesses the way God designed them to be built. And that's why we launched our own online school community called the Faithustle Network. The Faithustle Network is an online space where we can learn to grow our businesses God's way together. You'll get the opportunity to learn from Christian multimillionaires, business owners, and investors, to be a part of our entrepreneur-focused Bible studies and prayer calls where we pray for each other's businesses, and receive exclusive discounts and first access to all Faith Hustle events and resources. Not to mention, you get to be a part of a growing community of hundreds of Christian business owners and content creators, all looking to build their business God's way. If this describes you, join the Faith Hustle Network today. I can't wait to see how God grows you and your business, and I hope you'll join us inside the Faith Hustle Network. Because like you said, the buy-in, a lot of the businesses that I've consulted with in the past and whatnot, you can have the greatest strategy, but at some point, someone on the front line's got to actually own it, right? And if a company's going to scale, it's got to be on just you, right? And so, what's going to make them, go and charge and fight? It's vision. It's a deeper why. That's why, like in all the war movies, like the king he's got to give a speech, like something that's just like, all right, we got some minutes to go. And I just think that's brilliant leadership. I have he's been like a coach to me, has discipled me over the years. He used to be a vice president of HP Computers back in the day. And he did a lot of travel and a lot of work in Asia. And he always used to tell me, he was like, how they do business in Asia, they keep asking why. They go to a deeper why till they get to the core of like, this is why we're doing it. And you have to keep asking. And I think that's I think any business owner can learn from that of what is the why and what are you setting as the win for your team? Because that's what's going to determine how fast they run, how passionate they are. Most people are not going to be passionate about putting more money in your bank account. And obviously, like, if they're in the sales role, maybe they're passionate about getting a bigger commission. But at some point that caps, it's like, there's got to be a deeper thing of like, we are making an impact. This means something of what we're doing. And I think like, let's say you were doing something in home services or something like that. You can make it like, hey, we want to connect people, and bring peace in their home when we are cleaning their house or whatever you do.
Dude, I've had issues in this house that we're in right now with my plumbing, and there was not peace in my house. And I needed...
Someone didn't have a vision.
Dude, I needed a plumber ASAP.
Yeah.
And it was so funny because I would go to Google and like I would call and I was like, whatever it costs, I just need someone here now.
Yeah.
Because like the toilet's running over. And so because of the marketing company that got that plumbing company to rank number 1 on Google, right, that brought peace in my home.
Yeah.
And so it's a lot deeper than just, their cost per click on their Google ads that got them to rank higher. Like you can always find a deeper why in your business because any business is just solving problems. Right. And so the problems that you're solving, right? That's a win for someone else.
That's good.
Right.
Yeah.
So like, for example, for us, the win is, churches, a lot of pastors, they feel like they're the best kept secret in town. We help them solve that problem. We help them, take what they're doing and put it in front of more people. Yeah. And that solves that problem. And for other companies, maybe like I'm friends with a guy that owns a marketing agency for plumbers and HVAC companies, right? It might be the getting peace in people's home or helping the entrepreneur that owns the plumbing company, help him build a legacy for his family or help them find financial freedom. Yeah. And so it can always be deeper than just, dollars and cents for the company.
I find it always is. It's like, I think, but we have to have that desire to go another layer deeper. But I think that's where you're going to find that buy-in. But that's brilliant. Like I said, I'm glad we went there because I caught that and I'm like, man, I think that's so valuable for us to learn. Okay, so how many churches are in the Church Candy platform right now, or that you guys serve?
Yeah, so it's over 400. It's amazing. About 445. We're so close to 450. And then during the summer months, there's always clients that want to pause until we get back into the fall.
Yeah, because they're always doing the what do they do now?
The sabbatical.
Yeah, sabbaticals during the summer. They'll do like, hey, we're gonna just have different guest speaker. They're just doing stuff like, hey, we'll be back in the fall, and then they kick it back like hard August, September.
Which for me drives me crazy because it's like, okay, the summer is the number one time people move.
I didn't even think about that.
Yes. And so whenever people move, what are they looking for?
Yeah,
they're looking for a church. They're looking for community, right? And so the church solves that problem for a lot of people. And whenever you take your foot off the gas, imagine, this is completely hypothetical. John and Jane moved to a new city.
Yeah.
They were going to a church before, but when they moved, just life happens, right? You got to get the kids in school. And then some issues come up in their marriage and they start fighting more and they're in a new city. Right. They don't have people surrounded with them.
Yeah. They don't have that community.
Right.
Yeah.
But imagine if when they first moved, they start seeing on their Instagram getting invites to church and they're like, hey, we should go check this church out.
Yeah.
Right. And that as an opportunity, and this completely hypothetical.
Yeah.
Now you have a chance to be there to help John and Jane or Jane. I forgot what names I gave them. You have an opportunity to be there for them before that happens. So I'll get off my soapbox. I know this audience isn't for pastors.
No, this is great. It's brilliant. I mean, you know your audience so well. I love to, I guess, take a step back of like, how did this all start? How did you get, because it really is a brilliant model. And then I want you to explain the model of how you help churches. Yeah. specifically with their ads. Like even like, I mean, you got one ad structure of like, hey, get coffee with the pastor. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is brilliant.
Yeah.
But how did this all start?
Yeah. So I wanted to go into ministry. I felt called to be youth pastor.
As everyone does in Bible school.
Everyone does, right? I'm going to CFNI, and as I'm there, my dad, he had started this side hustle, running an agency for chiropractors. He used to work for a chiropractor, and so he kind of had an in that industry. And he started helping them with their Facebook ads. Instagram wasn't really big at the time, but it started to take off, and he needed help in his business. And I didn't really want to help him because I was like, Dad, no, my heart's for the Lord. I don't want to help you in your business. Like, and two, my girlfriend, now wife at the time, she had worked for her parents' family business in the restaurant industry. And I just saw the tension.
Especially the restaurant business. My gosh. Yes. Yeah, it's nonstop.
And I was like, Dad, I want you to be my dad. Like, I don't want...
That's fair. Yeah.
But then I realized, oh, wait, this is way different than working in a restaurant. It's just one day I'm back in town from school one weekend, and my dad's like, hey, I will give you $50 to set up this landing page for a client. And I was like, hold up, $50? And he's like, I was like, how long does it take to set up a landing page? He's like, once you get a hang of it, 20 minutes. But like, it might take you an hour first. I was like, so you're telling me I can make $50 an hour?
Or every half an hour? Yeah, yeah.
Because for me at the time, I was a barista at, White Rhino?
Yes. Yep.
So now they're huge, but like I was there when they just had one location.
Oh, wow.
They were more of a like specialty craft coffee shop. Now they're a lot more commercial than they used to be. But I was a barista there making minimum wage plus tips. And so the fact that I could make $50 by setting up a landing page for this chiropractor, I was like, I'm sold. Like, let's do it. Yeah. And so that's how I got into marketing. I started helping my dad. I was employee number one. And then the company grew. We had to hire other people. And so because I was the first hire, I trained them how to do things. And then we hired more people. And so I kind of started leading the team. And then before you knew it, that company scaled to multiple 7 figures.
Wow.
We had like 20 something employees.
Jeez.
And I was just my dad's number two because
you were the first one there. Yeah.
I remember I was at CFNI at the time, and some of my friends would make little comments, and it's like, "Oh yeah, well your dad's got money." Da 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 da. And like I would be like, now the company's doing really good, but like when you first met me, when I first came to CFNI, like I didn't get any Christmas presents the Christmas before because like he had just quit his job to go all in on this side hustle, and like things were rough. And not that like, oh man, I'm bummed I didn't get Christmas presents. I was 18. Like I understood I had more maturity and like understood like what this meant for our family. And for me, I helped my dad scale this business. I'm going to CFNI and I'm thinking, great. I can work at the name of the company's Cairo Candy. So
that's amazing.
That's where we got the name.
I love it.
So at Cairo Candy, I was thinking, okay, this is great. I can, because I'm basically the boss, like I'm number two to the founder, I can make my own schedule so I can go serve in student ministry, not depend on a paycheck to be a youth pastor, because Lord knows youth pastors don't make a lot of money.
They do not.
And I'm able to provide for my family working my day job at Cairo Candy and, not depend on a paycheck from a church.
Right.
That's the mindset I had. And I go into one of my CFNI classes and the teacher says, hey guys, instead of going in the syllabus and teaching what I planned today, we're going to spend some time in prayer. I just feel like the Lord wants you to seek what he has for you after CFNI. Now I know as a teacher, if you do that, you're just more prepared. You didn't prepare that day. And so
let's just seek the Lord.
Let's just spend some time in prayer. I'm going to put some worship music on. No, I kid. Kipling, if you're watching this, love you, man. And so I had the mindset of, God, I already know what you got for me. I'm going to go be a youth pastor. I'm going to work in my dad's company. And then I got convicted. And immediately I just felt the Holy Spirit say like, oh, so you think your plans for your life are greater than mine? And I was like, okay, nope.
Yeah.
You're right. You're right. You're right, God. And so
I've been slapped in the face before too. Trust me.
Yeah, because at first I kind of like took out my phone, like texted my girlfriend, like we're just chill. I was married at the time, so texted the wife, like any C&I student, ring by spring. Got married after my first year.
After the first year, dude, wow, you were the stereotypical Bible school student. I love it,
dude. I got married at 19. I did, brother.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So, anyways, I'm spending some time in prayer in that classroom, and I just feel the Lord in that moment. Say everything that we're doing for chiropractors, the local church needs this. And that day was basically the turning point in my life where I started chasing this dream. That was in 2018. And I go back to the married dorms at CFNI and tell my wife of 3 months, hey, I know I was supposed to do CFNI's 3-year program. I think I'm only going to do their 2-year program now. So basically drop out of CFNI to where I'm just graduating now. And I'm going to pursue this dream that God put in my heart to start helping churches with social media. And she's super supportive. She's like, all right, yeah, if that's what you feel, let's do it. And I immediately graduate and start chasing this dream. And wall after wall after wall, like I don't get traction. I start to maybe get my first client, and then it falls through. And a year goes by, and I stop CFNI early to chase this dream, and I have nothing to show for it. And I see my friends walk across that stage, and I start doubting, thinking, God, that was supposed to be me.
Yeah.
Did I drop out of CFNI to chase this dream you gave me for nothing? Didn't you call me to do this? And I'm seeing my friends walk across that stage, and I'm feeling like, man, God, did I miss you? Like what? And that was 2018, 2019. Well, in 2020, the world shut down. And I see all these churches have to go online. And I look back at that now and see that was the Lord protecting me.
Yeah.
Because, dude, imagine if it would have taken off and Church Candy would have started before 2020, and I would have gone all in and quit my day job with my dad and put all my eggs in that basket. 2020 happens.
Yeah.
It's all gone.
Wow.
Because we would be the very first line item on a church's
would get removed,
budget that would be taken off.
Yeah.
So I'm very grateful that the Lord, He prepared me in that season, right? In those 2 or 3 years before Church Candy really started to take off, and I was still pursuing it. It wasn't for nothing, but imagine if I would have done that, dude. I would have been toast. Yeah. And so I'm very grateful that God did not allow the dream to come to pass too early. Yeah. Because in 2021, my wife was pregnant with our son, and I don't know what it is, but when you become a dad, you just have this instinct come on, all right, I got to provide. And I was making good money. Yeah. And I was a youth pastor at the time. We moved here to the Woodlands, Texas to help plant a church. And I had helped our church with some Facebook ads. And at first, dude, spent some money. Always $500 on campaign. It was before the church planted. We were doing an event, a pop-up. Spent $500 promoting it, and no one showed up.
No one showed up to the event.
No one showed up. There were a few people that showed up, but not from the ads. No one saw an ad that we had ran. Yeah. There was a handful of people there, but it was not what we wanted. There might have been a dozen people there. Gotcha. And we spent $500. So I was expecting 500 people. Right? $1 per person.
Which, if you ever want Facebook ads, you understand that's the likelihood of that is not.
No, I was very early. I was very ambitious. I was very ambitious.
Of course, yeah.
And I felt ashamed and embarrassed because it's man, I don't even think I was making $5,000 a month at the time. And so to think that I spent $500 of the church's money, I'm like, man, that's not even my tithe. My tithe can't cover that. You know what I mean? So I was frustrated. I felt there was another moment. I was like, all right, God. Yeah. All right, you really want me to do this? Right. And I was embarrassed having to see my pastor at the event him knowing that he gave me a $500 budget
And it didn't work.
and then no one showed up for it. But it took some time and it took some playing around, but we finally got things dialed in. And like, I remember the first time like someone showed up and I meet this guy and I just go, oh, what's going on, man? My name's Brady. How'd you hear about the church? He's like, man, Pastor Brady, I just kept seeing Vibrant on my Instagram. And then I kept seeing it and saw it on Facebook and saw it on Instagram. And I just thought, God, I guess you're calling me to this church. Because every time I turn around on Instagram, I keep seeing you.
That's wild.
And he's saying that to me. And I'm just like, amen.
I'm the guy.
I'm like, okay, God, this is working. Like, amen, brother. Like, I do believe that God called you here. And so back to the story, my wife's pregnant. She has her son, River. And I have a few weeks off of work for paternity leave. And my pastor had put me in some group messages with other church planters and pastors saying, hey, you need to connect with our youth pastor. He does our Facebook ads. They're crushing it. Like we're getting some, like, because we finally started seeing some traction, getting some new guests. And so I end up putting together a course. It was an online course. And dude, I had so much hype behind it. I was promoting it in church planting Facebook groups. I was like getting all this hype behind it. And so like my wife just had the baby. She had a C-section. So she was like in recovery.
Oh, yeah.
So she was sleeping all the time, like in bed. When you have a new baby, dude, they just like sleep all the time. And so I was like, why did I take off work for this? Like this sounds bad. I helped my wife whenever she was.
To clarify.
But like I just had so much downtime. Like my friends, they'll be like, dude, like on my paternity leave, I played so much Call of Duty or Fortnite. And so for me, I would spend times building this course, recording the content, and putting a hype behind a webinar. And so I follow Russell Brunson's perfect webinar framework. And I go through all of that. And I've got this pitch. I'm doing the offer stack. Now look at that. It's so cringe. It's so salesy. Like I do not do that anymore. And then we made a sale at church and bought it. They paid $500. And dude, I was ecstatic.
Yeah, you're through the roof.
Dude.
Yeah.
And then another one came. And then another. I think we like sold like 6 or 7 of those courses from that webinar. And you know, what is that?
Like 3,000 or something like that.
3K from a webinar. I was like, oh my gosh.
I'm rich. Yeah.
I was like, dude, this changed everything. I was like, God, this is what you call me to do to help these churches.
Yeah.
So I get these 6 pastors in a Facebook group. We could have done a group text. Like we didn't need a Facebook group for us. There wasn't that much of us. And they get access to the course. And a week goes by. I'm touching base with them. And they're like, oh yeah, we've been traveling. Haven't had a chance to do it. Like go through the program. We're going to do it. It's like, okay, great. Couple weeks go by. I can look and see like how much of the course they've gone through. Like only one church has actually gone through it. And time goes on. And I get on a call with one of the pastors because he had some questions. Yeah. And he's like, man, can I just pay you to do this for me? And I was like, sure.
There it is. Back to the dream. Yeah.
Dude, I know. And so what's funny is the one church that went through it, they're a church in Corpus Christi, Texas. They bought that course. They run their ads. They've given us a testimonial. They've never paid me another dollar since.
Wow.
Like, and they say it works and it crushes it for, like, we have a good relationship. Yeah. Everything's good. And then that one church that signed up, they still work with us to this day. Wow. And they're grandfathered in at I think I charge them like $250 a month.
Oh, wow.
And so if you're listening to this and you're a pastor, we do not offer that price point anymore.
Let's just clarify that was.
They got grandfathered in because I was like, why would they pay more than that?
Yeah.
Today we charge, it's like $750 a month plus the ad spend.
Which like, very, I'm from this space. That is very
most agencies
fair.
In like the corporate world, $1,500 is like
bare minimum.
Is like bottom tier.
Absolutely.
Like we've paid agencies to help us. Like whenever when my daughter was born, I brought in an agency to help manage our ads while I was outside and have to worry about it. They were charging me $2,500 a month. They didn't write any ad copy. They came up with images that were so cringe. I was like, don't use those. I'll give you these. Yeah. But they do stuff and they still help us with some things today. Anyways, going off on a tangent. So yeah, that's kind of how Church Candy started. So I ended up converting maybe like half of the people that bought the course into the agency.
Yeah.
It wasn't church candy at the time. It was just them hiring Brady Sticker as a freelancer.
Right. Yeah.
And then in January of 2022 is when I decided I'm going to take this seriously.
Mm-hmm.
That's whenever I made my first hire. That's when I bought churchcandy.com and registered the LLC.
Yeah.
I already had 7 or 8 clients, maybe 6 if you count my church, because I've been doing it for free for them since then. And yeah, man, that's how it started. And I would just like hustle in Facebook groups and do things then. And that's the origin story, man.
Wow. What a story. I'm always a sucker for origin story. I just think it's so inspiring. I think it helps to normalize the business journey, because you can just look at what something is now and be like, oh man, he just was crushing it from day one. You're like, let's move this back. 2018 got the word. 2020 the world shut down, and then there was this opportunity and for my church, and then like it's just I think if anything that's helpful. One, I love hearing how you heard this word. The word was tested. That doesn't mean it wasn't true. It's like it just went through a test. It went through it's not always going to come right away. Like when I got the word to start Faithustle, it was hard. You know, it was like I was like, God, is this really you? And then it's like, okay, like you just take a step, and then you take a step, and then God just meets you. So I think that's just encouraging to anybody that are in their entrepreneurial journey. Man, that's amazing. So okay, so now Church Candy. Again, you say you're helping almost 450 churches. What's the model that's working?
Yeah.
And I'm curious if you feel that even for small businesses, if they can adapt this into their companies, but what's working for these churches that's making it so effective to have all these first-time visitors come in?
Yeah. So I'll break down like our business model and like how we've scaled, and then I'll break down like what we're actually doing and setting up for churches.
Course,
so for us, it's very simple to where when we get a new client, we focus, like we want to crush it for them. We want to get them great results. And then we are very intentional about once we get them good results, we need to document that. Don't, like so many business owners and like marketing agency owners, they'll crush it for their results for their clients. Their clients love them, but they don't have any like video testimonials.
Y'all are serious about that.
And so like if you go to our like the main landing page we send traffic to in our ads and scroll down, dude, it's just like a sea of just video of pastors singing our praises. So we get a new client, get them results, document it on a video testimonial. Even if it's like over Zoom, it's
better than nothing.
Get social proof of someone talking about like how amazing your product or service is, because that's going to sell way better than anything that is going to come out of your mouth as a business owner. So get a new client, get them results, document it, and then you want to leverage that video in your marketing to then get you a new client.
Yeah.
And then when you get the new client, guess what?
You do the same thing.
You get them good results. Then when you get them good results, you document it with a testimonial and then leverage that in your marketing and then just repeat that. That has worked amazing for us. And like we've scaled very, very quickly, just running that play and staying focused. And it has been so hard. Like, because as an entrepreneur, I get shiny object syndrome and I want to do all of these different things. But I've like something Alex Ramosi says is to fight your shiny object syndrome. Just you can scratch that itch with the content that you make. Like let that be you going and doing things. So that's like this podcast studio was like my shiny object syndrome. But we've gotten a huge ROI in it because we'll fly clients out and interview them here. And you go and look at our the Church Candy podcast, and it's this pastor just being real. Like, yeah, we were a church of 150 people. Now we're over 1,000. And it's honestly like because of the Lord, but like tactically it's we're using Church Candy and the Lord's blessed it. And now we're seeing new people walk through the doors. And so I'm just getting them to share their stories.
Yeah.
And so this has been like, some people might say, oh, he's not staying focused and I'm having shiny object syndrome. but I keep it within our vision and our mission as a company. So a lot of entrepreneurs struggle with shiny object syndrome.
Yeah.
And Hormozy, which I am a huge Hormozy fan, I'm praying for him to come back to the Lord. He was raised a believer. I am too,
man. I really am. Yeah.
And maybe Church Candy will be the ones to do it.
Why not? Yeah.
But he talks about how a lot of times in business, like entrepreneurs, it's like a video game, right? Where they'll get to level 1 and level 2 and they get to level 3 and they can't beat that final boss. So they quit and start over with a new character, right? And so they get stuck in their business plateaus. And instead of breaking through that plateau, they go and start another side project.
Yeah.
And they feel like the Lord's calling them to that. It's like, well, 6 months ago, you said the Lord's calling you to this. So
we talk about that a lot on the podcast.
Which one was it?
Yeah.
So for me, like, it's just having to stay focused. And like, there's some things right now, some projects that we're playing around with that I'm having to pray about and be like, all right, God, are you calling me to this? Right. And so going back to your question, like our model, we just got to put our nose down, and that's how we've been able to scale so quickly. And with scaling quickly, we've kind of learned like, hey, what got us here isn't going to get us to the next spot.
Yeah.
And like I kind of told you, we started at one point, we were losing not just like clients, we were losing employees. We would have the first team member quit, and I was like, oh, they just can't handle it. And the second one, I was like, man, like it's not for everyone. The third person, then I'm like, okay,
maybe it's me.
maybe I'm the common denominator.
It's like dating. It's like, oh yeah, they were just the wrong one. Wrong one's like, well, maybe I need to go to therapy.
Yeah, no, straight up. And so us going through implementing EOS, and it took us like a year to implement EOS to really like see a lot of fruit from it, to where we were able to break through a plateau and get the team bought in and do a whole bunch of restructuring. But God's blessed us. I mean, we went from when we started EOS, maybe 250 churches to now 450 churches.
I mean, that's huge.
And so a huge jump and increase. And it took some restructuring, but yeah, that's where we're at now. And then as far as churches, so here's how we will get churches new guests with ads. So it starts with an ad where the pastor's inviting someone to church and say, hey, my name's John. Do you have questions? You new to the area, looking for a church?
Yeah.
We'd love to have you here. Click below to plan a visit, and we'll see you on Sunday. Well, from there, they click on the ad. A form will pop up, some more information about the church. Then people can enter their name, email, phone number. That gets sent over to the pastor and their team. And from there, the pastor and their team, we coach them and encourage them on follow-up. And this is where like AI would be great, but I'm super hesitant having like AI pastors following up with people.
But I mean, listen,
if I was in only a matter of time. If I was in any other industry, like if I was doing this for plumbers, I would say use AI to follow up with those leads.
Yeah.
I ain't about to have AI pastors follow. Like, maybe it's like, hey, this is Vibrant Church AI assistant. Like you let them know it's AI, but don't
pretend like it's you.
We ain't gonna pretend it's that. And there are some of our competitors, some companies.
Really, they got AI pastors out here.
It breaks my heart.
Because gosh,
imagine like you move to a new city, you want to go check out a church, you fill out a form online. You get a text from the pastor. You text back and forth with him,
and then you see him in person. You're like, "Man, thanks for talking. Like, thanks for praying for my mom." And you're like, "Who?
Yes.
Oh no!"
And then you realize that it's I wasn't talking to a pastor. Oh, I was talking to AI.
Oh man,
dude, I wouldn't just leave the church. I would
leave the faith,
bro. So I think that might do more harm than good.
I agree.
So that's a slippery slope.
I agree.
So that's kind of one method, and then we get the churches to follow up with the people, and then boom, they get new guests. And a lot of the new guests will come, and they might not have even gone through the funnel and like filled out the form. They just saw the ads online and then go to the website or just go check it out. But that gives us like a trackable KPI, to a key performance indicator of like, hey, these are how many people plan to visit. In the business world, we call it lead gen. Like how many leads did we generate?
Yeah.
And so you brought up earlier coffee with a pastor. And this is really cool. This is something that I'm really excited about. So what you do is basically a church's pastoral staff would have like a Calendly to where everyone has some availability where they're willing to meet with people. Put out some videos. It's like, hey, do you have questions about God, about faith? My name's Brady. I'm a local pastor. Would love to grab coffee with you, hear your story, answer any questions you have, and tell you about our church. Click below, schedule time. We'd love to chat. And this is really cool because it's an evangelism first strategy.
Yeah.
Think of all the people that would be very hesitant about walking into a church.
Yeah.
They feel like, oh, I'm too messed up. I don't know about that.
Yeah, he doesn't want to. Yeah, I'm not good enough to come in. Yeah.
Yeah. But they would definitely go grab coffee with a pastor. Right. And then what's the stat where it's like 80% of people that you invite to church will go? And so what we're doing is we're having these pastors go and have these discipleship conversations before these people ever step foot in their church, before this person ever donates money and gives to their church, before this person ever serves in their church. The pastors are starting to evangelize and disciple them.
You're giving value to them first before you ask anything of them. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah,
and
it's beautiful.
And then at the end of the conversation, it's like, man, I need to introduce you to John and Haley at our church. You guys would love, oh my gosh. What are you doing Sunday? I want to introduce you to John and Haley. Can you come to church with me on Sunday? So there's that. So there's a couple of different like next steps rather than just like, hey, do you want to come to church?
Right.
Like giving them a reason. So either like, hey, think of someone in your church who you want to introduce them to, or if they're like really, if they're going through a lot and it's like, because that's been some feedback we got from pastors. Like, hey, we're getting a lot of people that were like, they're addicts, they're broken marriages. There's some real people in really dark places, which is great.
That's amazing.
That it's that it's an opportunity for them to do ministry.
Right.
Be like, hey, I would love to pray with you and have our prayer team pray over you on Sunday.
Oh, that's awesome.
And like give them a reason, because if you just say like, hey, would love to see you at church. Like one of my friends, they're planting a church near our hometown, and he's like, yeah, man, Pastor Robbie, they've had like 70 people fill out the form saying they're interested in grabbing coffee with Pastor Bobby.
A lot of coffees.
Yes. And I'm asking him how it's going. And this church planter, they haven't gone through like ARC training or anything like that. They're just winging it. Yeah. Which, hey, like,
that's totally fine.
Yeah, go for it. Like, you're glorifying God. Awesome. But he's like, yeah, it's really obvious. Like, he hasn't been like trained on like building a launch team or anything, or like having some of these conversations, because we're not closing them. We're not closing the deal, right? We're not getting them the next step or whatever.
Yeah.
And so it's just like being intentional and like giving someone a next step rather than just saying, oh, you should go to church because I think it'd be good for you. People love people. And so that's what we're doing, is saying, hey, I would love to introduce you to Mike and Sally. Or, hey, I would love, or Sister Jenny, she has a testimony that she's gone through the same thing. I would love to introduce you to her and have her pray with you. Yeah. Like, so like give them a reason and be authentic with it. Don't just like pull that out of your rear end just to do it, just to do it.
Exactly. Yeah. It's got to be real.
Yeah. Like be real with it. And dude, I posted on my Instagram yesterday, this guy that's 6 months sober, and he shares this testimony of, I don't even remember seeing an ad or filling anything out, but I got coffee with his pastor, and I was like strung out on drugs and alcohol whenever I filled out the form from the ad. I was hungover the next morning when I got a text from the pastor asking if we're still good to get coffee.
Wow.
But I went, and his life is radically changed.
Man.
He's back in his kids' lives. He's 6 months sober. And that all happened because a pastor was willing to open up his calendar to meet with this guy. And now his life is forever changed. I don't know, like spiritually where he's at.
Yeah.
Like as far as like, oh, he went through their growth track and was baptized.
But it's a step. That is a huge step.
There's tangible fruit just from him.
Yeah.
Being sober now. And I'm sure he's been baptized and gave his life to the Lord if he wasn't already a believer.
Yeah.
But those are the type of testimonies that like just get me so excited about what we do, man.
That is beautiful, man. You just taught a whole masterclass, so that's why I'm just silent. I'm just like, let me let him go off. But I think there's so many things I love. I was I was pulling up a scripture I read this morning while I was sitting in Houston traffic. And funny enough, Manny Arango, who we're about to have on the show as well, I've been going through his Bible plan. So we're going through Peter. So I'm finishing Peter. And 2 Peter 1, he talks about, for this reason, he talks about for these qualities are yours and increasing, they keep you from being ineffective and unfruitful in the knowledge of our Lord Jesus Christ. And he lists all these different qualities like you should be increasing in. Virtue is one, with knowledge, self-control, and then steadfastness. And it says godliness, brotherly affection, love. But steadfastness, when you were talking about that of staying focused. Entrepreneurs, and I am guilty of this as all get out. I have a whole notes section of just ideas. And every idea seems amazing and it could work tomorrow. And I've had to learn to surrender that to the Lord. Like I'll put it down and then I'll just submit it in prayer. And then if God is breathing on it, okay, great. But I've had to surrender a lot of ideas down because that shiny object syndrome is very real and it distracts a lot of business owners and they get stagnant and they don't grow. And so I think that's a brilliant model that any of us can take of, put that creativity in content or maybe advertising efforts, but like keep the main thing, keep it simple.
Yeah.
And then just all these different things. Like when you were talking, I was like, man, I can see any business utilizing that, whether it's even especially the Calendly, because a lot of times now it's like, hey, like, set up your free consultation. What if you just open your calendar like, hey, get coffee with me? Like, I love to help your business. Like, was that $5? For maybe $8 now for coffee, but you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't take that much more time, but that I think in this age of digital media, we are missing that in-person touch.
Yeah.
And the fact that you're able to bridge that, I just think you're just one of the most brilliant people I've ever met. Of
Thanks,
when it comes to like, okay, how do we make this personable and effective of, someone who's seeing it they're at the right place, the right time where they need help, and we can get them connect. I think it's just brilliant,
man. To your point, one of my favorite quotes that I've grabbed onto right now is from Steve Jobs.
Yeah.
And which I would never take like parenting advice or marriage advice from Steve Jobs. But a lot of his business stuff is really, really good. And he says that focus is just saying no to good ideas.
Ooh. Say that again.
Focus is saying no to good ideas.
That's good.
It's easy to say yes to a good idea.
Absolutely.
Right? But do you have enough focus to say no
to a good idea?
And that's hard, man. That takes focus, takes discipline, steadfastness.
I mean, that's biblical. In Genesis, the fruit was pleasing to the eye.
Yeah.
Right? It wasn't, it was bad because God called it bad, but like it looked good.
And how many of those good ideas look good to us, but under the surface, it's not what it seems.
We never count the cost. In our recent episode with Tim Ross, as we're recording that, it was recent, but he talked about the difference between a good idea and a God idea as an extra O, and that you never account for when you got that shiny object syndrome. You see the upside, you never see the downside. I'm not even talking about like how much it's going to cost you or how much money it's going to, whatever. The teams that you'll need to support it, the systems, whatever. I'm more saying like, I'm actually going to have to do less date nights because I'm working on the side business. I may not be able to tuck my kids into bed every night anymore because because of this good idea. And it's like, it better be God if it's gonna, and it's like, I've been talking about this a lot of like, Jesus never sacrificed spiritual health for the sake of productivity. Like he was equally the most effective, efficient, productive leader in 3.5 years of all the things he accomplished, every Old Testament prophecy. And yet he was spiritually healthy. Like he never sacrificed that. So if the sacrifice is your spiritual health, then it's just not worth it.
But no, I'm just too busy. I got to go do these miracles. I don't have time to.
I don't have time to withdraw from the crowd. It's like, if Jesus had to withdraw from the crowd, you don't think you can? And so I just think, it's brilliant. And it just comes, right, steadfastness, discipline, a focus. I think it's brilliant. Okay, as we close out, this has been so helpful in so many different ways. As you mentioned, you guys scaled pretty quick. How many employees do you guys have now, or team members?
Between 20 and 30.
Jeez.
It's hard for me to keep up with at this point.
Yeah.
Most of our team's all here in Texas. And then we've just recently started bringing on some VAs from Colombia. Was very hesitant about that at first because I was like, man, we're going to keep it America first, baby. Like USA.
Yeah.
But then my team started asking for like healthcare plans and raises and some of these things. And it's like, okay, so now kind of the model we're going is some of the non-client facing work, some of the back end things, not talking to pastors and things like that, but we're outsourcing some of that to VAs.
Got it.
So that my US team, I can invest in them more. I can pay them more. So I can't, like, we're doing a staff retreat this summer.
Love that.
And we're bringing in, like, Pastor Manny's going to come in and do a leadership lesson. We're bringing in a bocce chef to make us some amazing lunch.
Hey, we can talk about this after. Can I?
We got club tickets. Their Astros and Rangers are playing.
Okay.
And so we got club tickets for the whole team and their spouses. But being able to invest in the team like that has just been huge and one of my favorite things to do.
I love that.
Right? There's the parable of the talents, right? Where it's like, hey, you need to be a good steward with what God's blessed you with.
Right.
And that's often preached, hey, like, it's talked about with giving.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly.
Or like, hey, you want God to increase, like you better tithe
here.
Right?
Yeah.
But we can look at that parable and say, okay, God is going to bless you whenever you are a good steward of what he's already given you. Mm. And so I think as business owners, as entrepreneurs, the team that I have, God has blessed me with them.
Yeah.
God has blessed me with them. And so how can I invest in them? And so every month we are paying to have people come in and do trainings with the team.
I love that.
And some things that have nothing to do with what we do.
I love that.
I had a guy come that is an expert in budgeting and personal finance.
That's awesome.
And like did these lessons on budgeting and investing and all of this. We brought in people for like marketing things. We brought in pastors for some spiritual things. And some of this that has nothing to do with the day-to-day work that we do here at Church Candy, but I want to, if they ever leave Church Candy, for them to leave better than what they came in with. I want them to have hard skills and soft skills that they've been able to have developed because we invested in them for that. And so it's not just, you got to invest, you got to put it in a high interest savings account for your money. It's, I'm taking that and we want to invest in our team. And so those are things that we're doing there, like with our staff retreat, which, by the way, this is a funny story. We had never had more than like 60 churches sign up in 1 month. And this year I told the team, hey, Easter's coming up. For the month of March, so the month before Easter, I want to see how many churches we can sign up. I want to see, really, I just wanted to break a record. I wanted to get past 60 new churches in a month. So we kind of set some like measurables. Mm-hmm. And it was like, hey, if we got 50 churches to sign up, we'll do karaoke at the staff retreat. If we get 75 churches, we'll bring in hibachi chef. Like the original plan was to do box lunches from like Jason Zelli or Chick-fil-A, which is so amazing. I love a good Chick-fil-A sandwich.
I'll take it down.
But it's like, we'll bring in a hibachi chef. Or if we get 100 churches to sign up, I will bring in a tattoo artist and I will let you tattoo whatever you want on my body at our staff retreat. And for the month of March, the team signed up 108 churches.
So you about to get a tattoo.
Dude, straight up Andy Bernard. Like they exceeded the goal. And like I was talking to someone I'm in this mastermind with, like bragging, like, yeah, man, we had 100 churches sign up in 1 month, and most of them were just from our email list, not even from ads. And he's like, if they're already on your email list, how come they signed up on that month and not the month before or the month before that? And I was like, let me go talk to my sales manager. That's a good question. Why didn't they? No, it's all good, man. God blew me away that month, and that really showed me I need to expand my vision.
That's so good.
Like, God did that in 1 month. I would have never even dreamed of having 108 churches signing up in 1 month. We had 30 would be a good month for us.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to break 60. And I didn't think they were going to.
Yeah.
I thought maybe we'd get 70 or 75. I didn't think we were going to get 108.
Yeah.
And so recently, the Lord's been in my, like, dealing with me, like, okay, I need to increase my vision. I need, like, anything that if I put my mind to it, like, if the Lord has blessed it, then it's his problem. Those are his problems. He's going to have to worry about.
I love that.
Right? He'll give me the wisdom.
Yeah.
Right? And I've always thought, like, I can look at other people that are doing great things. It's like, man, like, if they can do it, I can do it.
Yeah.
And, like, look at Moses. A lot of preachers will be like, Moses had a stutter. He was not a good communicator.
Yeah.
If God could use Moses, he can use you. Here's the thing that people forget. Moses killed a man. Like, Moses murdered someone.
He did.
And God still used him.
Yeah.
I have never murdered anyone.
I'm glad.
And I think I don't have a stutter. I'm not like the best communicator. I'm not the best speaker, but I don't have a stutter or speech impediment.
Yeah.
So I've got that on Moses.
Yeah.
And God used Moses to take people, like, to free Israel out of the bondage of slavery. So if God can use Moses for that, what can he use me for?
That's so good.
And so, like, some of the vision that I've got now is like, okay, we are living in revival right now.
Yes.
The Wall Street Journal reports that Bible sales are at an all-time high. New York Times reported that for the first time in American history, young men over 30, their interest in going to church outweighs women under 30's interest in going to church.
Whoa. Just unheard of.
You saw it even in the election. Like, you saw the Gen Z going back to more conservative values, and with that, also is going back to faith, going back, looking for God. And so I think we're going to look back at the late 2020s as a revival, similar to how we look back at, like, Azusa Street, the Brownsville revivals. And how can God use me in this?
Yeah.
Like, I think there is such an amazing opportunity that we have right now as the local church. And something I'm calling my shot here on the podcast. I'm going to do it. So I bought this website, coffeewiththepastor.com.
Oh, brilliant.
And we are developing an app, a website where people can go and find local churches in their city and pastors and grab a time to get coffee with them.
Brilliant.
So almost like, what is it, BetterHelp, where you can find a therapist?
Yeah.
Well, that's all virtual. Well, you can find a pastor. It's local. Not necessarily to do therapy with, but just ask spiritual questions too. And our goal is to buy a Super Bowl commercial.
Come on.
Have it.
Hey, I'm with you, dog. Go big.
Yes.
Why not?
And so now we can say, okay, we are going to buy a Super Bowl commercial for every church in America doing this.
Wow.
And we've already started the process of getting our 501c3 for this so that we can get some of that Hobby Lobby money. I got some connections with the Green family. I'm believing for it.
Come on in.
And so with that, entrepreneurs on there listening to this, follow me on Instagram, keep up with this because we have to raise like $10 million to make this happen, to develop the app and to do this. And it's going to be a nonprofit, so it's a tax write-off for you. Hope you don't mind me pitching that.
We'll put it below. Yeah, we're putting all your stuff below.
The website's not live yet. We're still waiting on the state for the 501c3 paperwork and stuff. But it's early. I don't know that we'll have a Super Bowl commercial 2026, but maybe 2027. And some of this stemmed from, I would see the He Gets Us commercials.
Yeah.
And it's almost like a woke Jesus. Yeah. And at first, someone had said, and like I had the understanding that, people will go and like fill out forms on hegetsus.com and then they'll connect them with local churches in their cities. They don't do that. That's not really what they do.
Snap. I didn't know that.
So I was like, man, why don't they do that? Like, that would just be such an easy. And then God's like, why don't you do that?
Wow.
And it's like, all right.
Yeah, you can either be mad or you can find a solution.
Do something about it.
Yeah, do something about it.
And so with that this is kind of what I'm talking about, is like praying, like, all right, God, is this shiny object syndrome? Is this like, is this your will?
Yeah.
But I would love for us to be a part of a movement to where we look back 20 years from now at the late 2020s, and for people to say Brady Sticker and Church Candy, what they did with Coffee with the Pastor, led to revival in America.
I love that.
And man, that's what's been on my heart.
Man.
And I've got team members that I haven't even told on our staff that we're doing this. And
no, they know now.
If they listen to this, they're gonna hear it.
No, I'd love one. Thank you for all that you just shared. I love big vision. It doesn't scare me. I got some. Faithustle was just step one of some of the things that God's put in my heart, and I'm a believer in listen. There's no limits on the Lord, and go for it. Why not? Like, if anyone should be providing solutions like that on the planet, it should be the believers. It makes me think of this quote. I want to say it was John Wesley who said it, but it might have been someone else. That the church is always looking for a method. God is always looking for a man. And, God's method has not changed. We want structure or systems, which are good. God is looking for just one person who will be fully committed to a vision that he gives them or gives her. Like, he just wants to surrender vessel. He's always done that since the beginning of time, and he's not changing it. And so I think it's just inspiring. And I think for anyone watching that, just when you surrender to the Lord, and you open yourself up and you say, Lord, you can have your way with me. You may be shocked. He may bless you with a ridiculous vision, like 1 million people coming into churches for the first time, or a Super Bowl ad. That, hey, I'm expecting that in 2-3 years from now, we're going to do this again in season 7 or 8 of Faithustle. Who knows what season it will be. And we're going to tell the testimony.
I don't know, man. I'm going to be big time then. I don't know if I'll make.
We still have time for us small people.
No, bro. I'm playing. I'm messing.
Yeah, no, but like, it's going to be cool to see when God does it, and that he will get the glory. And I do agree. Like, I mean, even within the market. I mean, Billy Graham's the one that prophesied before he went to heaven, that he believed that the next wave, the next move of God will happen within the marketplace. And I think it's marketplace people that get his heart. That's like, why not? Like we don't have to necessarily just be lay ministers. We can step in and make a difference, and with the resources, and not just the resources, but the skills. Like, know how to market, know how to get the hindsight to get or foresight to get a domain, Coffee with the Pastor, like all these different things. Like, God's using all of that, and I believe we're in the last days, and I think God's just prepping his church and putting people in place. And so, man, I'm just glad that we're friends. I'm glad I have grown. If you saw me a little bit more quiet today, because I'm learning, I'm ingesting and getting inspired. So thank you for being on, man, and just sharing your wisdom. If you're a church out there, I'm gonna put all of his information below for Church Candy, so you can get connected to him and his team. But man, appreciate you so much, man.
Of course, man. Thanks for what you do. I think there's power in encouraging believers to step out on their entrepreneurial journey, because a lot of people will say that I've heard it said that the church has done a great job at teaching people how to give, but a poor job at teaching people how to earn. And people will argue, say like, oh, you don't need the money, you don't need all of this. But God can do way more through you.
We need the money
with finances, through finances.
Yeah.
And so I love what you're doing, empowering Christian entrepreneurs. I think it's huge, man.
Thank you so much, bro. Appreciate you, man. Thank you so much for watching this episode of the Faith Hustle podcast. We hope you felt challenged, encouraged, and equipped to walk out your faith hustle. And if you enjoyed this episode, we encourage you to subscribe to the podcast, whether you're listening on YouTube or any audio platform. As well, leave us a review. It helps us so much in our ratings so we can get the word out to more people. Each week we have these conversations with business owners who build their business God's way. And so we look forward to growing with you on your faith hustle journey. We'll see you next time.